Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive. Today we're taking a look at dApps.
dApps.
Decentralized applications.
Right.
We're going to figure out what they are, why they're so important right now, and see what's already out there.
Lots to cover.
It is. And we're going to be using this great piece from Phantom as our guide. They're a leading crypto wallet provider.
Oh, yeah, I've seen some of their stuff. Should be good.
So the first thing that really jumps out from this is how dApps kind of turn the tables, compared to normal apps.
How so?
Well, with dApps, we're talking blockchain, right? No more middleman.
I see where you're going with this. Okay, so think about all those apps we use, every day. Facebook, YouTube, banking apps, all of those.
Yeah, exactly.
One company, they're in charge, right? They control the data, they make the rules, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
dApps, it's different. With DEX, that power, it shifts because they use a network, a decentralized one. No one is really in charge.
So you're saying that with dApps, the user actually has more control.
Yeah, more control, more ownership. It's a big change.
Okay, I'm starting to see why people are so excited about this, but how does all that really work? How does it actually play out?
Well, let's take data ownership, for example.
Okay.
Instead of your data just sitting on some company's server, at risk of breaches or them just changing their mind about what they're doing with it, with dApps, you're in control. It's your data, and you decide who gets to see it.
Right, especially these days with all the data privacy stuff going on. That's a big deal. But how do I actually use a dApp? Do I need, some special internet connection?
No, nothing like that. You use your normal browser, just like any website.
Okay.
The difference is how you log in. Instead of usernames and passwords, you connect using your crypto wallet.
Like Phantom.
Yeah, exactly, like Phantom.
So my crypto wallet, that becomes like my digital ID.
Pretty much, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, but what if I'm not a coder or something?
Yeah.
Do I need to understand all the technical stuff to actually use dApps?
Not really. It's getting easier all the time. Think of it like, smart contracts. Those are like the heart of dApps, and they work like a vending machine.
A vending machine, okay.
Yeah, so you put in your input like a crypto transaction, and boom, the vending machine, it does its thing based on the rules of the contract.
I got it.
Yeah.
I don't need to know how the machine works on the inside to get my snack.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a good way to think about it. Makes it seem less intimidating. But where do we even find these dApps? Is there a dApp app store?
Well, it's early days still. Lots of dApps are popping up, spread across all sorts of blockchains. But here's the exciting part. A lot of these dApps, they're becoming, what do they call it, interoperable.
Interoperable?
Yeah, they can actually talk to each other even if they're on different blockchains.
Hold on, I'm not sure I understand that.
Okay, so right now, you use an app on your phone. You're kind of stuck in that app's world, right? But interoperable dApps, you can take your stuff, your assets, your data, and move it from one dApp to another, even if they're on totally different blockchains.
So it's like breaking down the walls between these apps.
Exactly. It's a more connected, decentralized world.
Yeah, that's a powerful concept.
It is. Huge possibilities for everyone, developers, users, the whole shebang.
So we've got no middleman, users are in control of their data, and accessing dApps is becoming easier. But what are people actually using them for?
Oh.
Phantom's article highlights some key areas, starting with DeFi. So what is DeFi all about?
DeFi, right? It stands for decentralized finance.
Right.
And it's shaking things up. Imagine borrowing, lending, trading, all that stuff, but without a bank.
No bank.
No bank.
Yeah.
DeFi dApps, they're taking those middlemen out of the picture. They're rebuilding everything on the blockchain.
But I wouldn't be dealing with a bank. I'd be dealing directly with other people.
Yeah, through the dApps. And that comes with, potential benefits. Think about all those fees banks charge, right? Or how long it takes to get a loan. DeFi, it's trying to fix all that. Lower fees, faster transactions, and it could even help people who don't have regular bank accounts.
So it's not just about, the technology. It's about access for everyone.
Exactly. It's about financial inclusion. It's a big deal. But, it's important to remember that DeFi, like anything with finances, has its own risks.
Right, of course.
Smart contracts, they're powerful, but they can also have, vulnerabilities.
Yeah, definitely sounds like something to be careful with.
Absolutely. Always do your research, start small and only invest what you can afford to lose. Well, let's move on for a second.
Okay.
Phantom's piece, it also talks about NFTs, those digital assets everyone's talking about.
Oh, yeah. NFTs, I've seen them around, but I'm still not quite sure I get it. What makes an NFT different from just, any other digital file?
Well, think about it like this. You can have 1 million copies of a picture, right? But an NFT, it's like owning the original.
Ah.
It's like a digital certificate of authenticity verified on the blockchain.
So with an NFT, that digital file, it actually becomes, like, scarce.
Exactly. It's provable scarcity.
Yeah.
So suddenly these digital things, they have value in a whole new way.
Okay, that makes sense, especially for, like, artists and creators.
Right. But it's not just art. NFTs, they're changing all sorts of industries.
Really?
Yeah, collectibles, for example. Instead of like physical trading cards, you have digital ones, unique, verifiable musicians.
Yeah.
They're using NFTs to release, limited edition tracks or albums.
Wow.
Gives fans a whole new way to connect, to support the artists they love. And then, of course, there's the gaming world.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. NFTs and games, that's a whole other level.
It is. Imagine like all the time you spend in a game, the effort you put in, and instead of just earning points or whatever that vanish, you actually own something.
So, like, instead of grinding for experience points that just belong to the game company, you're earning, like, items or characters or something that you actually own because they're NFTs.
You got it. It's like taking that idea of collecting rare stuff, in the real world and bringing it into the digital world. But this time you can really prove you own it.
Because of the blockchain.
Exactly. And it's changing the whole economic model of gaming.
Oh, so.
Some of these games, they're built around this idea of play to earn. Players can earn crypto or other rewards just by playing the game well.
So it's like gaming meets investing.
Kind of, yeah, it's blurring the lines for sure. Phantom, they mentioned a couple of these games, like Star Atlas.
Star Atlas, okay.
It's a space exploration game, a whole metaverse actually, built on the Solana blockchain.
Yeah.
You can own spaceships, mine resources, even conquer territory.
That's intense.
It is, and everything is an NFT, so you're not just playing, you're building up a portfolio of digital assets.
With real-world value.
Yeah, potentially. And it's not just about collecting. They've got a complex economy in the game, 2 tokens, ATLS and Polis, that control different parts of it. So you're not just playing a game, you're participating in a real digital economy.
Wow, it's like becoming a digital space entrepreneur or something.
Right. Building your empire.
What was that other game they talked about?
Oh, Planet Mojo.
Planet Mojo. Okay.
Yeah, it's like chess, but with these creatures called mojos. And each mojo, it's a unique NFT with its own strengths and weaknesses.
Ah, so you battle other players with your mojos.
Yeah, you can upgrade them, breed them to make new, rarer ones.
So it's like Pokemon meets chess.
Yeah, something like that. But with the added ownership layer of NFT.
I can see how that would be addictive for players and collectors.
And get this, they're building a whole metaverse of games where those mojos will be interoperable.
Hold on.
Single blockchain ecosystem. So your mojos, because they're NFTs on the blockchain, you could use them in tons of different Planet Mojo games.
So it's like one character that you can take from one game to another.
Exactly. You could take your mojo from like a battle arena into a racing game, even a virtual world where you hang out with other players.
So these games, they're becoming more like, I don't know, like real worlds.
Yeah, persistent, You can build a whole digital life there.
It's wild. And we're just getting started with all this blockchain gaming stuff.
Totally. Who knows what's next? It's going to be a wild ride for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's not just games and finance, right? Phantom, they also talk about how dApps are changing social media. On any social media platforms.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of love-hate with them. You
Yeah.
know, it's great to connect with people, share stuff, but it also feels like we've given up so much control.
Yeah, totally. Our data, our whole online experience, it's all in the hands of these big companies.
And that's where dApps come in, right? They're
They do.
trying to change that.
Exactly. Decentralized social media, it's all about putting the power back in the hands of the users.
Give me the rundown.
Okay, so imagine, like, you own your data, you control what you share, no algorithms messing with you, no company changing the rules on you all the time.
Sounds pretty utopian, but
No.
is it actually happening? Are there any dApps that can actually compete with, like Facebook or Twitter?
There are a bunch of projects working on it. Phantom, they highlight Lens Protocol.
Lens Protocol?
Yeah, it's like a decentralized social graph.
Not sure I follow.
Okay, so think about it. Right now, your profile, your followers, all that, it's stuck on one platform, right? If you want to switch, you got to start all over.
Like, that's the worst.
With Lens Protocol, you create one profile, and you can use it on all sorts of different dApps.
So you're not locked into one platform anymore.
Nope, you take your online identity with you, your community, the whole thing.
Wow, that changes everything.
It does. And it's open source, so anyone can build on top of it. We're seeing new platforms popping up all the time, each one doing its own thing.
So instead of these giant social media companies, we're moving towards a more, like, diverse ecosystem.
Exactly. More user-focused, which is how it should be.
Absolutely. But what about content creation, like blogs, articles, that kind of stuff?
Hmm.
Are dApps trying to change that too?
Oh, yeah, and this is where things get really interesting. There's this platform called Mirror.xyz. It's a decentralized writing platform, but they use NFTs.
NFTs for writing, how does that even work?
So picture this. You write an article, a blog post, whatever, and then boom, you mint it as an NFT.
Okay.
Now, your words, they're a collectible digital asset.
Mm-hmm.
You can own it, sell it, even auction it off to your readers.
So instead of relying on, like, ads or subscriptions,
Yeah.
writers could actually earn money directly from their work.
Exactly, directly from their audience. And it's not just about money, NFTs could change the whole way writers interact with their readers.
Like how?
You could have exclusive content just for NFT holders, or build a community, offer special access, all sorts of things.
It's like a whole new level of connection between creators and their audience.
It is. And we're just starting to figure out what's possible with NFTs and writing. Platforms like Mirror.xyz, they're going to keep evolving. Who knows what they'll come up with next?
It's amazing all these different ways dApps are changing things. Finance, gaming, social media, even how we create content. It really does feel like a whole new internet is coming.
It does, doesn't it? And the best part is we're still so early in all this. There's so much more to come.
And the question is, what role do we want to play in all this? So much to take in, huh? DeFi, NFTs, dApps, changing everything from finance to gaming to social media. It's a lot.
Yeah, it really shows you the power of all this decentralized tech, And the people behind it, they're really passionate.
Absolutely. But there's got to be some challenges too, right? It can't all be sunshine and roses.
Of course, of course. Like, one of the big ones is user experience. Right now, dApps, they can be a little tricky for the average person.
Yeah, I get that.
Wallets, they can be confusing, and figuring out how to use a dApp, it's not always easy.
I mean, even for me, and I'm pretty tech savvy, there are times when I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to do here?
Exactly. If we want dApps to really take off, it needs to be as simple as, using any other app on your phone.
Make it user-friendly.
Yeah, simpler wallets, better interfaces, and clear explanations, People need to understand how all this stuff works.
So we need better tech and better education. What else?
Scalability, that's a big one. If dApps are going to replace the systems we use now, they need to handle a ton of users, a ton of transactions.
Like think of Visa, right? Millions of transactions every day.
Exactly. dApps need to be that efficient, that fast if they're going to be mainstream.
That's a big challenge for sure. Any solutions in sight?
People are working on it. There's this thing called Layer 2 solutions. They basically take some of the load off the main blockchain.
So it's like creating express lanes.
Yeah, something like that. Makes transactions faster, cheaper. We're also seeing new consensus mechanisms, the ways blockchains verify things. And some of those, they use less energy and can handle more transactions.
Sounds promising. So lots of technical stuff happening behind the scenes. But what about, the real world? Are there other challenges?
Oh, yeah, regulation. Governments, they're still figuring out what to do with all this decentralized stuff.
Makes sense.
How to balance, innovation and protecting people. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
It is. But even with all that, there's this energy, this excitement around dApps, right? You feel it.
Definitely. It feels like a real turning point, How we interact with technology, with each other. dApps, they're giving us power like we've never had before. Control over our data, our money, our online lives.
So we're moving away from these big centralized systems towards something more open, more fair.
Yeah, I agree. And the best part is it's not being forced on us, We're all building this together.
So for our listeners out there, what would you say to them, the ones who are ready to jump into the world of dApps?
Be curious, experiment, learn about blockchain, get a crypto wallet, try out different dApps, connect with the people building all this cool stuff.
Don't be afraid to, break things, right? Make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much information out there and so many people who want to help, to teach others.
It's a really welcoming community.
It is. And as we wrap up, I want to leave everyone with this thought. The future of dApps, it's not set in stone, We're creating it right now, all of us.
That's a great point.
So get involved. Let's build the future we want to see.
Well said. We've covered a lot today, the what, the why, the how of dApps. Now it's time for all of us to explore the what if. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We've got links to everything we talked about in the show notes, so go check it out. And until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep dapping.